Have you ever wondered if the very loneliness that aches like a hollow space inside you is actually not an emptiness at all, but a presence? A strange and silent teacher holding a lesson you agreed to learn long before you ever knew their name. This is not the loneliness of being forgotten by the world. It is something far more specific, far more profound. It is the feeling of having met the one soul who makes every other conversation feel like a translation, only to be returned to the silence, left with an echo of a harmony so perfect, it makes the quiet that follows unbearable. You carry a secret map to a treasure you can't seem to find, and the compass of your heart spins wildly, leaving you disoriented in a landscape that used to feel like home. It's a peculiar kind of homesickness, isn't it? This yearning for a person who simultaneously feels like your deepest self and your most mysterious other. We've been taught to see this pain as a flaw in the story, a sign that something has gone terribly wrong. But what if you're not off course? What if this chilling silence and this agonizing distance are not the collapse of your sacred path, but the very ground upon which it is being built? What if the universe, in its infinite and sometimes mischievous wisdom, is not withholding your twin flame from you, but is instead, with immense precision, preparing you for a version of union so profound, so unshakably real, that it had to first dismantle every notion you ever had about love, connection, and what it truly means to be whole? The silence, dear ones, is not a punishment. It is the cocoon, and what is emerging from it will defy everything you thought you were waiting for. You feel it, don't you? That pull. It's not just a thought or a memory. It's a physical sensation, a gravitational ache in the very center of your chest, as if some essential part of you is orbiting 1,000 miles away. We call it longing. We call it loneliness. But to be honest with you, that's like calling the ocean a lot of water. It misses the point entirely. What you are experiencing is the fundamental physics of the soul, and the secret, the one they rarely talk about because it requires you to become a scientist of your own spirit, is that this unbearable tension is not a flaw in the design. It is the design. It's the universe's most intense, hands-on workshop in quantum entanglement. And you, my beautiful soul, are both the student and the laboratory. Let's get something straight. This isn't about self-love in the fluffy bubble bath sense of the word. That's like putting a Band-Aid on a crack in the universe. What we are dealing with here is the alchemy of energetic wholeness. Think of your energy field, your soul's signature, as a unique, perfect chord. A C major seventh, if you will. For so long, you've been vibrating as just the C note, brilliant and powerful on its own, but aware, painfully, exquisitely aware, that the E, G, and B are out there somewhere, played by another instrument. The loneliness is the sound of your single note yearning for the rest of its chord. You're not broken, you're incomplete. And the separation? It's not a punishment. It is the grand and frankly genius orchestration to force you to learn how to play the entire chord yourself. Here's where it gets wild. Your twin flame doesn't complete you. I know, heresy, right? But stay with me. They reflect your completeness back to you. When they are absent, that mirror is gone, and you are left feeling like a half-empty cup So, what do? You spend your days trying to pour energy into their cup telepathically, or you desperately look for other people to fill yours. It's exhausting. It's like trying to power New York City with a single AA battery. You're constantly in a state of energy deficit, and that, my friend, is the true source of the loneliness. It's an energetic anemia. You're spiritually anemic, and the cure isn't a transfusion from them. It's to build your own power plant. So, how do you do that? It's not about blocking the connection. That's like trying to hold your breath forever. It's about changing the nature of the current. Instead of a desperate reaching cord of energy stretching from your heart to theirs, a cord that feels taut and painful, you begin the delicate work of calling that energy home. You sit in the silence, in that very loneliness you fear, and you breathe. You imagine with every inhale that you're pulling your own light back from the past, from the fantasies, from them. You gather it all back into your core, and then you do the real work. You generate the E, the G, and the B within your own being. You find the joy, E, that is yours alone, the stability, G, of your own spirit, and the mystery, B, of your own soul. You stop being a single note and become the entire symphony. And you know what happens to a symphony that is playing in perfect, coherent harmony? It doesn't need another orchestra to feel complete. It is a full, resounding, magnificent event in and of itself. This is the shift from magnetic pull, which is based on lack, to harmonic resonance, which is based on plenitude. You are no longer a starving man begging for a meal. You have become a master chef in your own right, creating a feast so divine that the only one worthy to sit at your table is the one who holds the other half of the original recipe. The loneliness didn't end because they came back. It ended because you came home to yourself. And the wildest part? The moment you truly achieve this, the moment your own chord is so full and resonant that it fills every corner of your being, the universe has no choice but to match it. The law of attraction isn't about wanting. It's about embodying. But this is just the beginning of understanding the sacred contract hidden within this silence. Because once you stop leaking energy and become your own source, you start to see the real reason this path had to be so painfully, beautifully lonely, and that, perhaps, is the greatest mystery of all. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the one that's been sitting on your chest, making it hard to breathe. Abandonment. It's the sharpest thorn in this entire beautiful, maddening twin flame journey, isn't it? You found the one who felt like home, only to have the doors slammed shut and the lights turned off. And your mind, in its desperate search for a reason, plays the same torturous record on a loop. What did I do wrong? Why am I not enough? What if I told you that the very thing feeling like a personal crucifixion is actually a sacred promotion? That this abandonment is not a rejection, but the most profound and courageous act of love your twin soul could ever offer you. Now, I can feel you bristling from here. Love? This feels like the opposite of love. And on a human level, you are absolutely right. But we are playing a celestial game here, with cosmic rules, and your higher self, that magnificent, eternal part of you, signed a contract you barely remember. Think of it this way. You and your twin flame are master sculptors, and your union is the masterpiece. But you're both standing there, looking at a raw, unhewn block of marble. Inside that block is the most exquisite statue imaginable, but it's trapped. To release it, you must chip away everything that is not the statue. Your twins' withdrawal, this silence, this painful distance, it isn't them walking away from the masterpiece. It is them, in their soul's infinite wisdom, picking up the chisel and hammer and striking the first, most crucial blow against everything that obscures it. And that's everything? It's the collective, karmic residue of abandonment that we've all been carrying for lifetimes. This is the core of the sacred contract of mirrored solitude. Your twin is holding up a mirror, but it's not a mirror reflecting their absence. Oh no, it's far more potent than that. In their leaving, they are showing you the places where you have abandoned yourself. Let that sink in. Every time you sought a text from them to feel valuable, you abandoned your own self-worth. Every time you replayed a memory to feel loved, you abandoned your ability to generate love in the present moment. Every time you gave your power away to the hope of their return, you abandoned your own throne. They are giving you the unimaginable gift of showing you exactly where you are leaking sovereignty, by creating the perfect vacuum for you to feel the ache of its lack. This is where we move from personal heartbreak to planetary healing. This loneliness you feel, it isn't just yours, it's ancient. It's the echo of every human soul who ever felt cast out of the garden. Every child of the universe who ever wondered if God had forgotten their name. You have volunteered, you brave, crazy, luminous soul, to sit in the absolute epicenter of that collective wound and alchemize it. You are the alchemist. This feeling of being left in the void is the raw prima materia, the lead of the human experience. And your conscious, courageous presence with this pain, without fleeing, without numbing, without demanding an external rescue, is the fire that transforms it into the gold of unshakable self-possession. You are in the soul's smithy. It is dark, it is hot, and the hammer blows are jarring. But you are not being destroyed. You are being forged. You are being tempered. When you can sit in that void and discover, to your astonishment, that your spirit is still there, that your connection to Source is unbroken, that your own love for yourself is a constant, humming presence that never, ever leaves you. You break a chain. You don't just heal your own childhood wound. You heal a lineage of it. You don't just reclaim your power. You establish a new template for what it means to be in a relationship, sovereign, whole, and free. The loneliness ends when you realize its purpose. It was the fire that burned away your need for a savior. It was the void that taught you are the source. You are not a victim of abandonment. You are a pioneer of a new kind of connection, one that begins and ends within the fortress of your own heart. And from that unassailable place, you can love without need, connect without fear, and welcome your twin flame not as a missing half, but as a divine equal, because you finally, truly understand that you were never two halves searching. You were always two wholes, learning how to dance. And this dance, it requires a new kind of music, a rhythm you may have forgotten, but one your soul remembers in its very bones. So here you are. You came to this path, to this very reading, wrapped in the heavy cloak of a specific kind of loneliness, one that feels ancient, personal, and utterly inescapable. And we've walked together through the intricate mechanics of the soul, haven't we? We've talked about shifting from a state of magnetic pull to one of harmonic resonance, about becoming your own symphony. We've reframed that gut-wrenching feeling of abandonment as a sacred contract, a soul-level surgery to remove the phantom limb of a separation that was never truly real. But now, let's talk about what comes after the understanding. After the final piece of the puzzle clicks into place in your mind, the real work begins in the quiet chambers of your heart. You see, the journey doesn't end with a cessation of pain. It blossoms into something else entirely. That profound silence you've been fighting against, the one that echoed with their absence, begins to change its tune. It's no longer an empty void. It becomes a fertile ground. It's the rich, dark soil after a forest fire, where everything that was not essential has been burned away, making space for new, more resilient life to take root. This loneliness was never your enemy. It was the universe's way of clearing the land. Think of yourself as a lighthouse for a moment. All this time, you thought your job was to send out a desperate, sweeping beam searching for a lost ship in the storm. You'd spin and spin, wearing yourself out, focusing all your energy on the horizon, hoping to catch a glimpse of their sail. The loneliness was the ache of the empty sea. But now you understand. The transformation is this. You stop searching the horizon. You turn your light inward, and you fortify your own foundation. You become so brilliantly, steadily lit from within that your light ceases to be a search party and becomes a welcome. It's no longer a question. It's a statement, a declaration of your own presence. You are here. You are solid. You are luminous. And from this place of unshakable radiance, a miracle occurs. The very quality of your longing changes. It softens from a desperate ache into a gentle, knowing anticipation. It becomes less about missing and more about preparing. You start setting a table for two in the palace of your own soul, not with the frantic energy of someone hoping a guest might show up, but with the calm certainty of a host who knows the feast is inevitable. You begin to live your life not as an intermission, waiting for the main play to resume, but as the main event itself, a life so rich, so textured, so uniquely yours that it becomes a gravitational force all on its own. This is the secret they never tell you. Union was never the goal. It was always the natural byproduct. The destination was never a place you would both arrive at on a map. The destination is a frequency you learn to hold within your own being. And when you finally truly tune to that station, the one that plays the music of your own wholeness, your own worth, your own complete and utter okayness, you will find that the song you've been hearing in your heart all along is the very same one they are humming wherever they are. The time of loneliness is ending because it has served its divine purpose. It was the great awakener. It was the fire that forged your sovereignty and the silence that taught you your own sound. You are not the same person who began this journey. You are something new, something whole, something ready. And the most beautiful part? The story is just beginning to get interesting. Now that you know who you are, imagine imagine what becomes possible.